when she got home, he tried to push her up the ramp one time, and she fell.
Oh.
And she basically was lying on the gravel for about 30 minutes until the fire department came.
How's it going today, everybody? The Chome has had it very, very rough in the last week, and that's just common nowadays. But something that has happened recently that we really haven't seen before is another interview, but not just a friend of Nova's who's hung out with them a couple of times. This is a neighbor of Nova's. And right now, I'll say at first, I was a little speculative. I was like, I don't know if this is actually Nova's neighbor. I wasn't sure. I mean, from the voice, I couldn't tell. I couldn't just confirm it off the rip. There for sure is a guy taking pictures, and it seems to be Nova's neighbor. He's getting information and telling us stuff that ended up actually being true. So I knew there was a neighbor, but I wasn't sure it was this guy. But then that I hear Nova isn't freaking out. He isn't losing his mind, accusing him of, I told you, Bloodspeth, that guy's a fake and you didn't prove anything. Because that's how Nova likes to operate when he knows he didn't do anything. He will he will defend himself. Like Nova actually will. But when Nova's guilty, he just slinks and hides away and he says, that's not true, it's fake. I've got proof. And then he just never shows us any proof and he just expects us to believe him. A known Chome, a guy who's made his entire career off lying about his heinous actions. So yeah, at this point we can about confirm the guy Bloodspeth interviewed is legitimate. And it gets worse from there, ladies and gentlemen, rest assured. This is a Nova video. Nova has recently been caught up for making a Kiwi Farms account. He thought he was going to go in there and just dox Kiwi tapes. But it turns out he didn't dox Kiwi tapes. He just found a random man and a picture of his young child and just started sending it all over the internet saying, this is Kiwi Tapes, I know it for sure. So Nova, Secret Agent Chome, have you ever heard of Agent 007? Well, no. In real life, we got Agent 555. He makes all the mistakes possible. He trips up on himself, gets exposed in his own Discord, and now in his own hate forum. And you know what it truly reminds me of? It reminds me of when Chris Chan threw that one blanket over his face and was like, hello, fellow Chris Chan haters. I also hate Christian Weston Chandler, even though his comics do have some sophisticated properties to them, and I do believe that he is misjudged on a lot of things, but that damn Kristen Weston Chandler, if only he could straighten up, he could get a girlfriend, and a couple hilarious events ensued from it. Well, this is kind of what happened in the modern times. Just Nova Online not viewing the Chris Chan documentary that Geno Samuel put out as a benchmark for all right, this is what I shouldn't do. This was his roadmap to success. He watched that and said, you know what? I'm going to be exactly like this man. But not only that, I'm going to do it faster, more efficient, and more crazy than he could have ever imagined. And that says a lot when you know the end of Chris Chan's story. But now let's go ahead and talk about the interview that recently happened. Bloodspeth interviewed Nova Online's neighbor, and Nova Online's neighbor had a whole lot to say about him. In fact, some incredibly crazy things that I wouldn't even expected myself. Namely, some things I'll list off the top of my head is Nova potentially stomping his dog to the very end, the heinous shit like that. And then we got Nova getting visited by an FBI agent who, as the neighbor said at the very end, told the dude, if I get any more messages about a 14-year-old, I'm gonna be here again, Nova, and we're gonna be having some real discussions after that. Oh, and don't forget this, he made an entire hit list on us, myself included. I don't know if you would call it a hit list. I mean, it's more like Chome was angry at all of us, Tofiichu included for some reason, wrote our name down, and then it spiraled out of his control before he even knew what was going on. That was probably the legitimate thing that was the Chome list. But you can't help an agent wonder why you actually went through with this. You're always saying you hate us, da-da-da-da-da. You threaten Bloodspeth and many others. You run around with UTTP. People expect the worst out of you, Chome. But I'm not going to hold you guys here any longer. Let's go ahead and jump into this interview that Bloodspeth did with Nova Online's neighbor. It's very eye-opening.
The full interview with one of Nova's neighbors.
Yeah, so whenever you're ready, we can begin.
All right, so first impressions of Nova. When we moved into the house, I did not know who lived next door. Basically, when I moved in, I saw him for the first time, and I was kind of questioning of who he was, and basically he was just acting weird when I first met him. To be honest, I just didn't know who he was. He was sometimes coming out of the house and yelling at his dog, and just being very loud and obnoxious. And I kind of just put up with it for the first bit, and after that, I saw on TikTok his face, and I was like, wait a second, that is my neighbor. And at work, I
wonder how that would go about. I mean, I could see that being the case.
So some of my coworkers already previously knew him, and then they couldn't believe that he was actually my neighbor. And that's kind of how it all started, was him just being loud and obnoxious, me seeing his face. And then he was filming out on his front lawn as well. So,
I mean, that's believable, right? Him filming out on his front lawn. I could see that. I could definitely see him doing that and looking outside. If my neighbor was outside filming random videos, the WWE videos, I think I'm going to take a look, right? I think you guys would too, wouldn't you? If you seen some dude in his 20s outside parading around a WWE belt, you might take a look.
I happened to just find him on TikTok in my For You page, and that's kind of just how it all began.
I see. And if you don't mind me asking, what's kind of the approximate time you moved in, a few months ago?
It was in last October.
Through your time, as his neighbor, have you ever seen? Do you know what a swatting is?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, has that ever happened to Nova? As far as you've lived there?
As far as I've lived there, no. But a neighbor across the street told me that it happened last January. So I moved in October. That previous January, he got swatted on. So after she told me that information, I looked it up on TikTok and saw some information about his SWAT. And that's the most I've seen.
Okay, I understand. And what's it like being this guy's neighbor? What are the kind of experiences you have with him?
So I've had very small, minimal talks with him. I've actually only been friendly with him because I trying to keep my I don't know what he's like, and his anger that I've seen, I don't want him to endanger my family. So I'm not trying to provoke him at all, because I don't know what he'll do, to be honest. So
well, to be fair, neighbor, I really hope that you're just not out there trying to provoke Nova online. I understand Nova's a predator and things of that nature, and I couldn't imagine living next to a certified PDF. Especially if I, with chill. Oh, dude, I don't even know. I literally can't tell you guys that thought process because I've never lived it. But I could only imagine the stress and the nervous energy that you would have to be carrying around on the daily. And I would want Nova out of there as fast as possible. Harassing him probably wouldn't be the way to go.
And I was cooking barbecue out in the backyard or just out there with my family. He would try and talk over the fence to me, and I would just keep it short.
Nova trying to home improvement him.
That I remember talking to him about was he locked himself out of his house. And he was trying to figure out how to get back in, and he ended up crawling through his window.
I remember
and yeah, he basically opened the window and then started just shoveling out DoorDash meals to make an entry for himself. And the whole time he basically apologizing that we had to witness that, and he's like, "Don't you hate that? Don't you hate when you lock yourself out of the house?" I'm like, "Yep, totally get it."
Don't you just hate when your mom's had enough of your shit and she just locks you out of the house? I've been out here for 3 hours recording a video, and I just realized I've been knocking and knocking. Hey, can I come stay in your place? No. Nova, get out of here, you PDF. Well, I'll see you later. I'm just gonna crawl in the window. Nova's so aloof.
But the biggest thing is the cameras too. Like my backyard camera, I've tried to hit privacy modes on it so it doesn't register all the DoorDash drivers that he gets. But a lot of times when he has tantrums, he triggers my camera and it just automatically records. So
wow. Okay, and you mentioned that previously as well, saying it wakes you up in the middle of the night.
I'm sorry, Piatti.
Can you kind of elaborate on that?
So his dog likes to run away a lot. This is the most that he basically wakes us up. He will scream for his dog's name and run off in the front lawn or go across the street, come into my lawn, whatever. And he'll, instead of going down and getting his dog, he's basically just yelling at the top of his lungs, screaming for his dog named Mouse. So he's screaming Mouse, 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 like over and over again. So hearing that in the middle of the night is not fun because it wakes my family up.
Yeah,
but
sorry to hear that.
And then whenever his aunt likes to come over and basically make him clean and basically helps him out, give him groceries. It seems like she's actually a nice lady and she wants to kick Gabriel out.
Okay, so this was another thing that got confirmed by the neighbor because Nova was posting on, oh gosh, what was he posting on? Oh, on a Discord, some messages leaked that Nova was complaining about his aunt coming over and making him clean. So this is another thing that can be confirmed. Nova's aunt makes this man clean, and I couldn't imagine how he would know this without, actually being there. So I imagine the guy was 100% around Nova online at that time. Like, he had to have saw it.
Oh, but she can't because it's not her son. It's just her sister's son. So,
okay.
Basically, whenever she comes over, though, there's either a big tantrum fight from Nova, and he throws a fit, and his aunt basically doesn't put up with his bullshit and puts him back in his place.
My goodness.
So, a couple weeks ago, we were dead asleep. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning, and it seemed like he was drunk. And he was like singing or being super loud at night, making these weird noises. And by the time I got up to wonder what was going on, he went back inside already. But
Nova drunk at 2 in the morning, singing in his backyard. Singing in the back. Dude, this guy has to have some amazing sights. Could you imagine Nova doing some WWE entrances after like 4 or 5 Smirnoffs stumbling around the backyard? Like, that's better content than he has ever produced willingly. That is top tier.
I heard him once, so he just has been in there the whole time. But
is that
typically he's out. Yeah, it's pretty, well, not really. To me, it seems like he sleeps or stays up all night, and then he sleeps till like midday. And so, like, normally he's coming out of the house around afternoon type time frame, but other than that, though,
like, that makes total sense that Nova Online is getting up incredibly late into the day. The dude is no longer looking for a job. I think we all know this. Nova has not been looking for a job in the longest of time. He wakes up and says, all right, here's exactly what Nova does. Here is exactly what Nova does. He is the ultimate bum son. The ultimate bum son. He hits his mom with, "Mom, I'm working so hard, and you know I'm earning money for this family on TikTok. That I don't care what you say. You know I'm trying." The dude, soon as he gets done with that argument, the guy runs to Fortnite, plays for about 3 or 4 hours. Nova probably does have the thought in his head, I'm gonna apply for something today. But as we know, Nova is not a man of action. And he also deep down knows if he does apply for a job, that might mean he has to go do it. Oh shit, that's even worse. I've got to actually go attempt to try something in my life. Forget that noise. forget that noise. It's so much easier to tell mom, I'm gonna go work. Please let me lounge around in your house until, you eventually pass away or I do, whichever comes first. And just leave me the hell alone, lady. Can't you see I want to play Fortnite? This is the game Nova is playing. Like, the literal only thing he could sit back and say is like, Mom, I got Cameo money. Because for some reason, idiots are paying him on Cameo.
So, and I was doing yard work last week, and I was weed whacking, and he was making a video outside testing his microphone.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, I saw the video.
Right, Beard Cat.
He's normally outside making videos, and he's in the backyard a lot in the summertime, making videos back there as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I see. And, with the, disrupting everyone, the speakers on max and yelling out, I assume, the other neighbors know of him, at least, not exactly about his online presence, but, his presence in the neighborhood. Do you know what the thoughts are and stuff like that?
Yeah, so...
Could you imagine actually being the town pariah, walking around your entire life, knowing that everybody is looking and judging you and knows the potential crimes you've committed? Like, all right, think about when you was in school. I don't know. Sometimes it hits you when you go to the doctor's office. All of a sudden, you're like, man, I think, the people staring at me, you get in your head a little bit. And you're like, nah, man, I'm tripping. And then you have the confidence to be like, I'm tripping, move on with your life. No, in Nova's case, it's 1,000% real. This is just Nova's life.
I'm one of the youngest people on the blocks. Mm-hmm. I would say that most of my neighbors are pretty older, or they're a lot older than I am. Mm-hmm. So they don't intend to be on the internet, I don't think. They know of him. I know the neighbor across his house has reported to the city hall multiple times about mice and just trash in his front lawn. And not.
You're literally a #1 topic with the city hall. I don't even know what goes on in my local city hall. Matter of fact, now that I mention it, it might be a funny pastime to go see what the hell these people are complaining about. But could you actually imagine showing up to that place and it being reasonable as hell? It's like, this man, out of all the properties, has garbage piled up high. This dude literally pile drivered his mom into the ground from her wheelchair and just let her sit there. It's sayonara, Mom. I'll see you later. I've got shit to do. The only time he walked back outside while he was doing his food review, he put a muzzle on her. Said, be quiet. The fire department's on the way, madam. I mean, Mom. Whoever you are, you're about to be gone a year or two anyhow. This is going to be my humble abode. Just fucking moves on with his life. That's crazy that this man is a legitimate concern to your town meetings. Seen the Futurama episode where they just send out the ball of trash into outer space, basically start a second moon? He's trying his hardest to accomplish that himself. Become the first self-made dump of all time.
And the neighbor next to him, that's not next to me, obviously, but his other neighbor, he has mowed Nova's house a couple times just to make his house look decent, because it'll get knee-high, and Nova won't do anything about it.
Knee-high. I want you guys to think about that. Knee-high. I don't know about you guys, but grass starts becoming an inconvenience before it even starts... Alright, I got my foot... Yeah, dude, if grass is at your ankles, you've got things to think about. You're like, yeah, I've been a little lazy this summer, haven't I? I haven't been really putting the work in. I better go get that mower today or tomorrow. Hank Hill would be ashamed. Hank Hill would crucify you on the lawns of all lawns. Tell you, take that industrial mower home and pull out the scythe and teach you the real game, buddy. You're knee high? Guys, actually think about that. I imagine I imagine that there is a degree that he's over exaggerating, right? But if it's even close to that level where you have to think, oh, that's around his knees, you are fucking up. You have done, you've done really bad. You should be ashamed of yourself as a 20-year-old man. This is what 13-year-old boys and girls, I'll repeat myself, boys and girls do when they are preteens to teenagers to earn extra money until they're 16 and can get a real job.
So,
Okay.
basically, if no one chips in as charity in the neighborhood, someone will mow the lawn just so the neighborhood looks a little bit nicer.
Mm-hmm.
But
no way. That's diabolical, Nova. You know how we was just saying as like, you know, kind of a man, it's like something maybe you should do for your mom to mow her grass so it's not, I don't know, knee high? There is no way in the world you can wake up in the morning time and seeing a stranger mowing your grass because it's became so pathetic and you not get your ass up and start helping him. Or at the very least saying, excuse me, sir. I understand. Please, go home. I will do this myself. This guy seen it! This guy seen the guy, got woke up by the lawnmower, the strangers doing it, and just allowed him to keep going like it was a luxury. He's like, I'm TikTok famous. This is what I deserve. You know, this guy, he gets it. He understands my plights. That's how Nova's taking it, I guess. He's like, this guy understands my troubles. He's a free gardener. No, Nova, get your lazy ass up and go mow your lawn when it's gotten so bad. A literal Hank Hill character, a king of the hill, Hank, Boomhauer, Bill mowed his own damn lawn. Dale said, I gotta figure this out. I have gotta figure this out right now. Jeez, man.
And I think they're just counting down the days until law enforcement finally takes them away.
Of course. And how much does his house stick out? Because from what I've seen, it's like covered in garbage.
Yeah, so it's definitely the worst one on the
Loki.
block by far.
Mm-hmm.
And it used to not be that way. According to my other neighbor, they said that about 10 years ago, they moved in, and the guy that had the house fixed it up and made it look nice. And it was actually a decent house until they moved in. And he was upset when he sold the house because they just completely trashed it.
Okay.
But so someone pranked him with all these USPS boxes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure you've seen them.
Yes, yeah.
But they are a big nuisance, according to both my neighbors across the street and the one to the other side of me, because they're afraid that in the wintertime, if they stay there, it will attract mice. And it's already been a known issue with mice.
Well, think about it. If you have like an abundance of UPS boxes just laying about, right? And mice getting attracted to the garbage. Well, to be honest with you, they're probably going to go into Nova's house. There's not much of a reason they probably wouldn't. But those UPS boxes are going to be a breeding ground unless there is an abundance of wild cats in Nova's area. Like, that's the only chance. But yeah, Nova's house is disgusting. Every single bit of it. The dude literally has to have firefighters wear a mask to haul his mom into the house. Now think about that, guys. Think about the lack of exposure these firefighters would have while they're carrying Nova's mom from an outdoors area into the house. Now I can imagine Nova's mom's heavy. It'll probably take 3 or 4 minutes. That's just 3 or 4 minutes to an exposure to this place. And these guys are choosing to wear masks? There's a reason for that. They've got to understand that this is an unhealthy environment, and there's a good chance that Nova's mom is in this situation because of how unhealthy it is.
And I was surprised because there wasn't a ramp, there wasn't nothing. until the very last minute, until she arrived. And when she got home, he tried to push her up the ramp one time, and she fell. And she basically was lying on the gravel for about 30 minutes until the fire department came to
he didn't help
pick her up. He tried, and he couldn't help her. And his aunt...
Yeah, you know, neighbor man, I get it's the chome a little bit, but didn't you say he was young? Couldn't you go help the chome peel his mom off the gravel? And I imagine you're a viewer, man, and I don't want to put these expectations upon you, but maybe next time you're just sitting there watching, you know, the chome trying to peel his mom off the gravel, maybe go help her. I don't know, man. For me, it just seems like the right thing to do, to go help the 60-some-year-old lady off the pavement. But maybe she was incredibly injured and screaming about it, and, you know, he wasn't taking a lawsuit. Man, I can understand that, I guess. Wasteland's like, bro, Chilla, what you want to... That's also a fair point, you know? Like I said, man, there's variables. I can understand it all, Wasteland. But I would feel... I don't know. I think I'd feel bad.
His aunt couldn't help her. The aunt was there as well. That was the first time. The aunt and Nova were trying to get her up, couldn't get her up. So they called the fire department. Fire department came by, picked her up, and put her in the house. And
2 people, actually. I didn't know that his aunt was there as well. This is actually news to me. His aunt had to do it as well. It feels dangerous to touch anything or anyone from that house. If you had like a like a radiation suit from Fallout, well, maybe you could do it, man. Like, yeah, bro, if you had the radiation suit from Fallout, I'll judge you, right, for not doing it. But if you don't, you know, I'll let you slide. Oh, yeah, but his aunt been there, too. It's like, so his aunt was totally planning on going there, bitching at Nova to clean the house, and it ends up being a rescue mission. So maybe Nova... Alright, so at first... Nah, never mind. We know Nova ran in there and was like, thank God my aunt's here. I can go play Fortnite now. So she can sit there and hover over my mom so I don't have to. That's exactly what happens. In fact, this story makes far more sense when you get that little bit of information.
After that, they haven't even tried to push her up the ramp anymore. They just, when they get home from one of her doctor appointments, they just leave her out in the driveway until the fire department comes to basically put her in the house.
So every single time, they don't bother trying to push her up. They just call the fire department.
Correct.
My goodness. And
this last time, he said, this last time, Nova told the fire department that they were getting a ramp this next week to help better the situation. But I'm afraid the ramp, whatever ramp he's talking about, either won't fit or he's still not going to be able to push her up. The aunt took away her vehicle. So it seems to me like the aunt, I'm assuming it's the aunt. It sounds like it's the aunt. Seems like she's the only responsible one out of the 2 of them. So the aunt drives their car and basically doesn't give it to them because I don't think she's supposed to be driving, so she doesn't want her to try and drive, I'm assuming. But Nova can't drive either. I think he doesn't have a license, I don't believe. So.
No, he doesn't. So it's always what you assume to be his aunt driving?
Yeah, so the aunt will come by every Friday afternoon, and I'm talking about every Friday. They go out somewhere. She takes Nova out somewhere out in the wilderness to either Dave and Buster's or wherever he wants to go, and that's like his one time a week he gets to go out on his own.
I see.
So apparently, from what this guy is informing us, is that the aunt is an Uber driver for Nova and his mom. And I remember a very specific Discord leak that happened where Nova was complaining that while his aunt was taking him somewhere, she wouldn't stop complaining about his life and he was losing his mind. He was calling her a B word. He was calling her everything under the sun. And I believe this was when Uncle Drew was alive, right? I think this has been going on for a long time. And could you imagine, right? Somebody taking the time out of their day, like clockwork, to go pick up your mom, go take you places. As she implies, unless Nova's walking somewhere or taking a bike, if he's driving, somebody has taken him somewhere, it was his aunt. Most likely, most of those dicky trips where he's spending time in lines and stuff like that is because his aunt's taking him somewhere, and we don't know if she does it more than once a week. She probably takes Nova's mom and him places. I can only imagine. But she takes her time out of her day to do this. And what do? You sit there and slander her on the internet. Daily. You've literally got into altercations with this lady. Slammed your head into walls because you're upset with her. And she takes her time out of the day because for no other reason than I can imagine, as much as she dislikes you, she loves you, dummy boy.
Does he, from what you told me, does he order food a lot? And does he more often get groceries or like DoorDash, like takeout?
So he orders DoorDash 2 to 3 times a day. And it's either from 7-Eleven, 76, like gas stations, like small snacks and foods, or it is random restaurants around that he'll DoorDash. Very rarely does he come back with groceries. And if he does, he gets the groceries delivered to his house. He doesn't go out and get them.
I want you guys to think about how absolutely lazy that is. I mean, just the laziest of the lazy. You guys know how expensive DoorDash's fees are. There is absolutely no reason for anybody to DoorDash that amount of times even if you're making $100,000+ a year. That is ridiculous. Nova is a man who is probably clearing $20K if he's lucky. He is spending a majority of his funds on DoorDash. You thought we was joking when we'd be like Nova's DoorDashing 2-3 times a day from what it appears. You know, this seems like what's going on. Well, if the neighbor is to be trusted, it's even worse than what we said. He's ordering ridiculous shit. Now, the only time you should ever order, like, regular things from a convenience store off DoorDash is if you're DoorDashing once that month and you have enough funds to say, fuck it, I am not going out today, and I just want this. Then I would accept it, right? But the fact that Nova has 4 more DoorDashes that day, and then plus some the very next, that's unreasonable. It's unreasonable, the amount that DoorDash charges. No wonder he's always broke. He's a black hole of money. This guy, if he did not have his mom, would be Tofiachu. His yearly pay is between $2,500 to $3,600. Peon, no, there's no way. Nova's gotta at least make $10K, I would hope.
Wow. 2 to 3 times a day? Really? Is that consistently?
Yeah, I actually had to turn off my front porch camera because I was catching so many vehicle drivers coming into his driveway, and it was like registering as like detection note, like notified. So I was getting around 2 to 3 Uber drivers a day, or Uber Eats drivers or DoorDash drivers a day. Mm-hmm. And from what I know is if they mess up his order, he'll try and refund the whole meal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's just terrible. Like, it's none of the DoorDashers' fault.
Exactly. with his,
So here's the actual worst part, guys. You guys are saying Chew, he's another Chew. Well, that's reasonable, but think about this. If you was to compare him to Brother Chew mogs Nova to every degree known to man. Brother Chew would wake up, go to work, come back home, and then give a majority of his check to his family. His dysfunctional, basically life-ruining family that pulled him to the very depths of oblivion. That man mogs Nova. A lot of people don't have a good opinion of Nova. A lot of people don't have a good opinion of Brother Chew, and that's reasonable. It's reasonable. We've heard some very terrible things, and the only thing you can say is that it came from Angie. Not a credible source, but then there's the video of the guy in the parking lot. But still, somehow yet, the dude mogs Nova. And if he was a part of the Chew crew, the dude would just... Nova would be an afterthought. He would just be another mouth to feed.
Conduct outside. Has it ever given any of his neighbors trouble, as far as you know? Forgot to touch on that earlier.
Yeah, so his front porch faces my back porch. Mm-hmm. So when I am doing, I've actually had to yell at him before, because he was losing his mind and having a tantrum. And my kid was crying, and it was so loud that I think it was making my kid upset. And they were sleeping, and my kid woke up and was just crying. So I actually opened up my kitchen window and yelled at Nova to shut up. And he said he apologized, and his mom basically scolded him for it as well. Told him how he needed to calm down. But yeah, when it comes to yelling, I'm sure 2 to 3 houses down can hear him for how loud he is.
Jeez, what was the that specific tantrum about, if you remember?
That one was a Uber. He thought he was going to miss an Uber appointment or meetup. So it was for his mom and him, and I guess something happened where she couldn't fit in one of the cars. So they had to get a different Uber, and that's when he lost his mind, was when they had to get a different Uber because the car didn't fit his mom.
Remember when I was talking about the town pariah earlier in the stream, ladies and gentlemen? Well, apparently, yeah, this guy is legitimately the town pariah. Imagine how embarrassing that is to have somebody just hop out their window, not hop out it, but open up their window and have to tell you, hey man, stop screaming in the middle of the day. You're waking up my children. Could you imagine how embarrassing that is? As a 20-year-old man, for your mom to have to turn around, who has just been able to not fit in the car, probably embarrassed herself, be like, yes, Nova, you're embarrassing me. Nova thinks these over-the-top reactions are going to get him attention, but no, he just fails to realize that he's been annoying, and people want nothing to do with him. That's one of the crazy parts about Nova, is he's, as deep down as he is a terrible human being, his personality is god-awful as well. I mean, it's just horrible. Nobody wants to be around this guy. You can't just be screaming in the middle of the day about something minor, I'm so sorry your mom couldn't fit in the Uber. You know who's actually really embarrassed about this? Your mom, dummy boy. Why not let's draw attention to this horrible thing that's just, well, not horrible, but this embarrassing thing that just happened to her. So now the neighbors are looking out the window and screaming at you.
So I don't know how true this is because I wasn't moved in here yet, but my elderly neighbor that's been here for a long time, and she's super religious, super nice. She said that Nova threw a tantrum and kicked the dog so hard it killed it.
Holy shit. Oh my god.
And that she said out of all the dog owners, that shouldn't have dogs. He is one especially because she believed that he shouldn't own a dog after that incident.
Yeah, absolutely. Jeez. Oh
And like today, for example, his dog hasn't been let outside once. And like a dog needs to go outside every now and then, like to go to the bathroom. So not once today since I've been home. I've been awake since 7 o'clock this morning, and the dog has not been outside once. So
I'm just
his aunt will make Nova put on rubber gloves and clean up the dog shit and piss in the house because he does not take care of that dog at all.
Oh my god!
I've actually almost called animal control a couple times because it's ran off and tried biting me, and I feel bad for the dog. I really do.
Yeah, of course. Jesus Christ.
I'm a guy that owns 2 dogs, and I love my dogs. Like, I adore them, take them on walks all the time. It just frustrates me to see that he's being so mean to that dog.
And with the agent that came by, could you kind of take us through that whole ordeal?
Yeah, so I was actually in the front lawn, spraying wasps at my house because I didn't want my daughter to get stung, so I was trying to kill off the wasps. And he pulled into their lot, and I was confused. I waved at him, and I was already outside. And when he was banging on Nova's door he said Gabriel at the time. He said, "Gabriel, please come out." He refused to come out at first, and they were talking loud enough where I could just hear it. And it was just to the point where I kind of was in the garage and I was listening. And I wasn't like trying to, but then it was like so loud, and I was like, what the hell's going on over there? And so basically the agent finally got him to come out. He said he's been there before, which I haven't seen him come before. That's the first time I've seen him. And that he had a stack of papers that he has to review with Nova. And basically is going to ask him questions. And your name actually got brought up, and it kind of seemed like it triggered Nova a little bit.
Nova, you're a hardened criminal now, aren't you, buddy? The FBI pulls up and says, "Come on, Chome, it's time to come on out of here. We've got you red-handed. We got some questions we want to ask you." You're going to straight up, "I'm not coming out. You're going to have to get me, officers. I'm not leaving this premises." He's just like, "We're talking about your hit list, Nova." That. Oh, shit. Oh, I didn't think I could get in trouble for that. I thought you were here for other. Well, you know what? Let's go on with this one. It's like, I remember when the Chome list first came out, and I thought that was one of the funniest things ever. I'm like, I'm on the Chome list? This is the Streisand effect. I realized that off the rip. That this is going to be the Streisand effect. You just brought so much attention to all of these people. But nope. It ended up far worse than that. Nova's literally getting questioned by the FBI over it. It ended up being far more ridiculous and stupid than I could have even imagined.
Having these conversations. So the agent was actually recalling the dog for Nova because Nova wouldn't come down the porch.
My goodness.
Other than that, though, the agent, my family heard him say FBI, and then we heard agent. So we didn't know if he was the FBI or just a local agent. So I honestly don't know who he was affiliated with. All I know is that he said to Nova that he was going to do an investigation, and all of these files that he had were going into a file for Nova.
Wow.
And that's the last time I've seen him. I haven't heard about him. Obviously Nova's still here. So I just remember him saying if he gets one more 14-year-old girl report coming from Nova, like victim report, that he will come in with full warrants for.
So that was the end of the interview Bloodspat did with Nova's neighbor. And if you didn't think it could get much worse for the Chome had his worst wake-up call of all time. No, not the handcuffs getting slapped around his wrists. That's yet to come. But we got a nice precursor to this. And that is JiDion's phone call that Nova recently had. If you guys remember, Nova had like 7 or 8 days, a time limit for him to get into contact with JiDion, or JiDion said he was just going to show up at the Chome's house. Well, Nova finally smartened up and started sending emails back and forth with him. I think we even went over a video where the Chome was like shaking in his boots like, hell, this is going pretty bad, I'm not gonna lie to you. And then things kind of chilled out, and even the Chome himself was like, it went better than expected. Not because I'm innocent or anything, it just seems like JiDion doesn't know as much as I expected him to. Whew, sweat off of my brow. Well, that might not exactly be the case. It might just be JiDion placating Nova until he gets him where he wants him. Because in a recent phone call he had, it sounds like JiDion's playing him like a fiddle. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. He's taking it easy on him for sure, but you gotta take it easy on Nova, or Nova's gonna flee. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. If you give a slight bit of pushback in a place where he can scurry off, he's gonna do it. This is the same dude who has been denying the allegations for years, just making video after video. Doesn't matter what the comments say or the loud vocal opinion of the mass majority of people who know about him is like, dude, you need to address this. This is bad. Like, I can't believe the heinous stuff you get up to. So you really got to be mindful of that. And I think JiDion's playing it just about right. Just about right. Some people would argue, but I think he's doing just fine at the moment. We can actually get something done off of this. Maybe the FBI agent shows back up and, I don't know, actually takes him to a courthouse and have him try to prove his innocence of a jury of his peers. You know, I think that's the only right way to solve this. But we'll just have to wait and see if that comes. But let's go ahead and jump into the interview.
Brother, I just woke up.
Nova, what's good, man?
I just woke up, JiDion, please.
My man, I'm so sorry. Bro, what time is it for you right now?
It's noon. I had trouble falling asleep.
No, it's all good, man. This is my first time ever getting to talk to you on the phone, man.
I know you're feeling that now, brother.
No, I am. I'll tell you, I am. But no, I was just saying, this is the first time I ever got to talk to you on the phone.
I like how he's like, you're doing this for content, JiDion. I know it. I know you're on live stream. Don't you dare make a fool of me. You know Nova was shook. Out of all the wake-up calls this man could have got, this guy wakes up to one of the most prolific PDF catchers on YouTube at the moment saying, hey man, I know you're not a good guy. This is his nightmare. Alright? This is his nightmare. This has been 13 years old, and you go and you turn on your Xbox 360 you got for Christmas, and you know you won't get one until next Christmas, and that son of a bitch red rings. This is the kind of bad day Nova is having.
Sorry, I'm a little frustrated. I just woke up.
It's all good. How many hours of sleep did you get?
Barely any.
Barely any. Well, you gotta go to sleep, man. At least get 7 hours. That's very important, okay?
I only got like 5.
But man, yo, I had somebody, you know about this whole Hollow situation. What are your thoughts on Hollow?
Fuck Hollow. You should get like the max statins.
Facts, bro. Facts. I don't know if you know his friend that's defending him?
No, actually. I don't really keep up with lolcows.
What is good, y'all? It is Hannah Kadri coming at you with the first ever episode of the Hour of Joy, the podcast where we cover lolcows with as little to no bias as possible.
Nova is the one lolcow who literally enjoys the content outside of himself. Like, Nova loves lolcow content. If it's about Daniel Larson, if it's about Tofiichu, the dude is what? Do you guys think for a second that Nova didn't watch my Tofiichu video today? No, Nova was probably one of the first 100 people there. Tofiichu literally has a middle finger next to her name out of all of us. For some reason. He loves Tofiichu content. He loves Daniel Larson, Chris Chan content. Above all else, Nova is just a fan of us who happens to get covered and is one of the most popular lolcows at the moment. It's actually insane. And you're going to tell me that somebody can say, hey, do you know who Holo is? Or Hollow, excuse me, Hollow. And you not say immediately, what the hell are you talking about? No, you immediately jump to, yeah, F that guy, he's a predator. No, you love this shit. You just happen to get covered in it.
Yeah, no, definitely. Freaking Hollow's the worst of the lolcows. But what was I gonna say? Freaking, he got a friend that's defending him like crazy, bro, and it's like disgusting. And
wait a minute, are you talking about the only fear is God?
Yes. I was supposed to have a debate with him today, but he flaked on me. I think he was just scared that, like, I was just gonna bring straight facts, because it's like, how can you defend something like that? You feel me?
Yeah. Fuck that guy defending Hollow.
So, bro, I was gonna say, man, like, because it literally messed up my whole segment, bro. Like, you don't have to turn on your camera or anything. I just want to talk to you about this Hollow situation. Would you be down to hop on Discord? I'll let you get situated and get yourself together, man.
Right now, no, I'm dealing with a lot of family shit right now. I'm sorry, JiDion.
Not right now. Okay. Well, man, when can we get some?
I mean, I absolutely would, but I'm just dealing with a lot of family bullshit right now, and that's taking up a lot of my time.
Okay, so we immediately understand why this call is taking place. If you don't know, JiDion had gave Nova a timetable saying, hey, you have 7 days or I'm showing up at your house. Well, it ended up being 8 days. I believe Nova had gotten into contact with him through email. So JiDion said, you know what? I won't show up at this man's house, but you have to have a phone call with me. So this was basically to placate JiDion. Well, hey, how you doing? Oh, actually, never mind. Got family problems. So much shit that I gotta worry about. You know, JiDion, you gotta think, man. Like, alright. This man, Nova, is telling him he has family problems he must deal with. Let's think about this, guys. Cover Nova a lot. You guys probably watch Nova a lot. I see a lot of you guys here on every live stream. Every video, right? I see your comments. You've watched. How much does Nova care about his family? Do we need a Jeopardy timer over here? Do. No, we actually don't, because I can tell you right now, it's none. This is the same man who refuses to clean his house, even though his mom would probably be in far more better health if he would. This is the same man who slams his head into walls because his mother and his aunt want him to clean. Do you think for a second one of the most important, and I mean important, phone calls of his life, he would say, I've got family problems? Now I want you guys to think about this. This is the most important phone call of his life. There's a legitimate predator catcher on the phone with you saying, I don't know if I should believe you, and I should come to your house and we should have the authorities contacted. And you're going to tell him I've got bigger things to solve right now? That looks incredibly guilty to me.
Well, you don't have to go into detail with the family bullshit, but, like, is it more stuff that you just have to think about, or is it more stuff you have to physically do?
It's more stuff I have to physically do.
Oh, so we're getting physical. Okay. Because, bro, man, I'm not going to lie, bro. Like, I think you could save today's stream, man. You could save today's stream. I just want to, like, get your thoughts on this, bro. Like, the people want to know, you know, because we're seeing you saying F Hollow and stuff like that, but you haven't been able to put out a full statement. So, like, can we get a statement from you on this situation?
Yeah, I just want to let chat know. I'm literally seeing in the chat right now, Hollow is a fucking piece of shit.
That chat, that deserves a Wolva in the chat. Yeah, like, I was supposed to debate his friend today, the Only Fear God dude, but he flaked and said he was having car trouble. Doesn't that sound like a bunch of baloney?
I think he's checking it out.
That's what I like, bro. I hate when people, like, give me bullshit excuses. Like, it's like, really, you know, freaking your car broke down. It's like out of all the excuses you could have gave, like, don't you hate that when people give like BS excuses?
No, it really depends. Like if you're busy, just tell me that.
Exactly. Like you, at least you were straight up with me. Like, you're busy, and I mean, is it the type of busy where like you're gonna be away from home, or is it the type of busy where it's like you're gonna be at home but you're gonna be like dealing with your stuff?
I have to do a little bit of cleaning at my house. That's really what I'm busy with, because
Oh God, guys, I should let him go. I should let him go on for a second, but you know damn well, this man isn't cleaning nothing. This is a certified dump from natural, from natural progression of time. This man has a certified dump at his house. You don't believe me? You can find it. It's on Google's map. This man lives at a certified dump, and you're going to tell me he's cleaning something?
But here, Nova, because you're a man of your word, right?
exactly.
Okay.
Okay.
So when are we going to talk on Discord?
Are we gonna talk off stream first?
Bro, man, I mean, this is the first time you've answered a call. Like, I've been calling you to talk off stream way before, so we can talk off stream first, yeah. Here,
Yeah.
if we talk, like, how about this? We talk off stream first after today's stream, and we get something scheduled for this week. How does that sound?
I'm not sure. I'll find something, JiDion, I promise.
All right, man. Yeah, no, it's totally up to you, man. You know, so this week, right?
He's basically got the ultimate predator, like the criminal defense. If I can stay out of the police car for 2 weeks longer, that is an accomplishment. He's like, hey, can we schedule like an official call where we go over everything, you know, Nova? Like, you've got to admit yourself, there's a lot of things that are questionable about your past within the last 3 years. Remember, this man is 21 years old, but has countless accusations against him, and he's like, you know, let's just go over a couple of them. You know, JiDion's been nice right now. There is no way to say JiDion is not being nice. And Nova's like, whoa, wait a second, wait. We gotta avoid that. He's like, 2 weeks? 2 weeks? All right, let's just draw it down the line. Like, all right, JiDion, give me about 6 months. I need so long to figure out the web of lies I need to go down before I figure this one out.
Yes, this week, or no, not this week. Those are the only words I want to hear out of your mouth. Which one? Yes or no?
Okay, I don't think I can do this week. I probably will be able to do next week. Sorry, I just need time to calm down.
Yeah. Come here. Here, this is what I do whenever. Just some quick breaths, man. Listen, that's one thing we'll never run out of is air. We'll have that forever.
Oh shit.
I don't think Nova knew what JiDion was referencing just now. That sounds like, to me, a prison saying. Like, you know, when you got life in prison and he's like, listen, you know what they can't take away from you, dude? They can't take away the air you're breathing. They can take away everything else from us. They can take away our food, our freedom, our time spent with others, but they can't take away the air we're breathing.
So Nova gets done with this interview, and you'd think everything would be chill afterwards, right? Right, well no, of course not, because now he's under more stress than ever. He ducked and dodged JiDion the entire time, literally told the guy, like, yeah, I hate when people screw me around. And then he's like, well, JiDion, matter of fact, I've got to clean my house, and we all know the Chome is not cleaning that place. I'm surprised that room isn't radioactive. If this is going to be the start of a Fallout series, if there was some rad roaches in there, I wouldn't be surprised. If his mom is slowly turning into a ghoul and she's ODing on Rad X, I wouldn't be surprised. So you know damn well Nova wasn't cleaning anything. It wasn't even on his mind until JiDion asked him to talk more. He knew that he could just like talk a little bit and he could dodge certain answers, doors and get out of there. I don't think he truly understands that his feet are like literally at the fire at this point, and he's got to solve these problems or he's gonna have to figure it out, dude, and I'm gonna say he's gonna figure it out behind bars. But I guess that's enough for me today, guys. Thank you all so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to drop a like, subscribe, follow all the socials down below, use the new hype feature, leave a comment as well, and shout out to all the live viewers that were with me during like the interview segment and the JiDion segment. I felt like I got most of my opinions and stuff out on the JiDion and the interview during that live stream, so I was like, we'll just show the rest of the viewers it, especially so we can have a longer video. But besides all that, guys, hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you next time.